Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's been a while since I promised to make a video on the huruf hija'i. The last one I made was just on pronunciation of letters. So today, inshallah, I'll be doing a video on those letters that are confusing or complicated and having almost the same sound or point of articulation, which people find very difficult to differentiate. So let's begin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. So let's start from Alif, and as we go on. Okay, Alif, letters that get themselves wrapped around Alif, or letters looking alike with Alif in terms of sound or point of articulation. Alif, we have Hamza, we have Ain. So these three letters are usually causing problems to people. Although Alif and Hamza have the same sound, they are the same sound, they come from the mouth. If you put a fatha for Alif, it becomes A. A fatha for Hamza, it becomes A. So these two are all the same. But in the case of Ain, Ain is coming from the middle throat or the lower throat. So the sound is not the same as this. This is Ain, and if you put a fatha for it, it becomes R. The sounds come from your inner throat, and you kind of raise your lower throat, almost touching the roof of your throat. Yeah, that brings out the sound R. The sound is not the same as A. So if you come across Ain Fatha and you're saying A, then you're wrong. This is A, this is R. And if Alif takes Kisra, it becomes E. Hamza takes Kisra, it becomes E. But if Ain takes Kisra, it becomes Ri. So that's the difference. And if Alif takes Dhamma, it becomes U. Hamza takes Dhamma, it becomes U. But when Ain takes Dhamma, it becomes U. Okay, so that's for these three. And the next one is Ba, but Ba has no competitor. So that's how it is. Ta has no competitor, but Tha does. Tha. Many people confuse this letter with Sin. Yeah, so Sin. This, like I've explained in the previous video, comes by putting your tongue between your upper and lower teeth, the tip of your tongue in between. But this you must produce while biting your two teeth. Sin, your two front teeth, that's your canines. Tha, Sin. Tha Fatha, Tha, Sin Fatha, Sa. So that's the difference. If Tha takes Kasra, it becomes Thi. The sound Tha is silent, stressless. So it's very thin. It's just like the theta sound in English. Tha. like thank you. Okay, so that's it. Tha kasra, thi. Sin kasra, si. Tha duma, thu. Sin duma, thu. So that's the difference. And after tha we have jim. Jim has no rival or competitor, so we move next, which is ha. Of course, ha does have a competitor or a rival. So this letter is ha, and the rival in sound or in pronunciation is ha. Many people confuse this. These letters also, people confuse them with a due to some tribal accent, but it's not all about tribal accent. I think I've trained a Yoruba kid before, and sorry to mention the tribe, my apologies. I'm not trying to insult anyone, and I'm just giving an example. So the kid was having that tribal accent, but after a month, I tell you, he was able to adjust. So tribal accent is not really the issue. And I think I have an ustaz too, also a Yoruba person. I apologize again. I'm not trying to insult any tribe. He said he told us his story. He was being laughed at, yeah, just because he used Yoruba accent. But I tell you, as time began, in fact, he told us that he gained his name Ustaz just because he had tribal accent and he wasn't reciting like other students. He was being trained by a Hausa teacher. So then students do laugh at him and call him Ustaz due to his tribal accent, but he stood up and fought that, and he became one of the best students in his set, and later become my own Ustaz, my teacher. So tribal accent isn't really a thing to give an excuse as an excuse. So when it comes to pronouncing letters of the Holy Quran, that's just what I wanted to point out. That's why I'm giving those examples. I'm sorry once again if you feel offended by calling your tribe. I'm so sorry. There is actually no tribe that doesn't have one challenges or the other in terms of pronunciation, but if you fight it, I think you're going to get it right. So let's come back. Like I said, ha, ha, and some tribes confuse these two with alif. So I'm going to bring out the difference right now. So this is ha, ha. It's a stressless sound, very soft, coming out from your outer throat, but it's really silent or soft when you call in the letter H, but you call it thinner than normal. So you have, when ha takes fatha, it becomes ha. This comes from your inner throat, and there's always this vibration on your chest when you're calling ha. So if this takes fatha, it becomes ha, and if this takes fatha, it becomes ha. These two are we could use letter H to represent these two, but this one is a little thinner than this. This one is heavier when producing the sound. So this is ha, and ha. Okay, so that's it. And if this takes kasra, it becomes he. He, like I said, is the letter H, but you have to make it thinner and softer. He. This is he. Ha kasra, he. And alif kasra, e. Ha duma hu. Ha duma hu, and alif duma u. So try to know the difference. And okay, so I hope these three are clear. You can't confuse these two with this. Some say ha fatha a or ha fatha a, which is wrong. You're referring to this if you call it that. So this is, always remember to represent these two with the letter H, either H-A, ha, but while pronouncing differentiate, this is thinner and this is heavier, but this is a, just a. Okay, so after ha we have ho. Yeah, ho also has got a rival, ho. So what rivals? It has two rivals. We have kaf and qaf. So these are the rivals of kha. This kha comes from your outer throat, almost in from your mouth, and you pronounce it as though you're trying to bring out some cough from your throat, like that's how to pronounce it. And kha fatha kha. Okay, yeah, last time I forgot to mention that your mouth will be a little bit filled with air. Yeah, kha kha. Okay, and this is just a free sound. There's no difficulties. Calling this kaf, kaf, kaf fatha, ka, 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 just like the letter K. But this, yeah, this coming from your, like almost your inner throat. This is qaf, qaf fatha, qa, qa, qa. Yeah, so that's it. If they take fatha, that's how they come, but with kasra, kha, kasra, khi, kaf, kasra, ki, qaf, kasra, qi. This I could say represents with Q, but there's a little bit of difference again with the letter Q, but the best representation with the English letter would be letter Q. So QA, ko, ko, yeah. You know you can't call QA ka, ko. So that's the best I could represent it with. And this, if it takes dhamma, it becomes khu, khu, khu. Always, whether fatha, kasra, dhamma, don't forget, like you're trying to bring out some cough. Okay, and this ku, yeah, just like letter K, simple. Ku, K-U, ku, K-A, ka, K, I, ki. So that's how this functions. Then this, I could say letter Q, but there's a little bit of difference. So if it takes dhamma, it becomes ku, ku, ku. So that's for these three, and I hope that's clear enough. So the next I want to take would be after kha. After kha, we have dal. Okay, dal does have a competitor or a rival, which is bored. Yeah, bored. Okay, yeah, I guess. Alright, so this is dal coming out from your mouth like the letter D, but this bored is coming out between your two lips, filled with air, mouth filled with air, and let's out the pronunciation. So if this carries fatha, it becomes da, but this bo, di, bi, do, but boo. This needs air filled in the mouth, and your lips must be between, your tongue must be between your lips when pronouncing bored. So that's the two difference. So I also forgot to mention sin here. Sword. Sword is another rival to tha. So while this is tha, thi, thu, sa, si, su, this needs lots of air in it, which is saw, si, su. To produce sword, you must protrude your lips, fill your mouth with air, and let out the sound saw, si, and su. So that's it, and I hope all that is clear. Is there any other letter competing with dal and board? I think that's all for those two. So the next I would like to talk about is after dal we have dal. Yeah, dal has a rival, and that is zayn. Many people confuse these letters. This produces a bustling sound. Zzz. Yeah, that's how it goes. But this is a soft sound. That. To produce this, put the tip of your tongue in between your teeth, just like in the case of tha, but this time try to call z while your tongue is between your teeth. So that gives you that. So if you give it a fatha, it becomes tha. Give this a fatha, it becomes za, producing a bustling sound. Give this a kasra, it becomes the. This a kasra, z, with the bustling sound. Give this a dhamma, dhu. Give this a dhamma, you will always hear the bustling sound, zu. Z, that's zayn. Alright, after zal, we have ra. Ra has no competitor but itself. And how did I say itself? Many people call ra like the letter R, although they have a kind of relationship. But so if you give ra a fatha, it becomes ra. Not in the case of RA, but in the case of RO, raw. So that's why I said itself is its own competitor. So raw fatha, raw kasra, ri, raw duma, ru. So that's how it goes. The competition comes when handling raw fatha. Many people calls it ra, as in the case of RA, which is not the case. RO, raw. Although I think in some riwayah of the Holy Quran, like Warsh, I think raw fatha is being pronounced ra, but with certain conditions. But if you're using hafs, you must call it raw, as in RO, if it's carrying fatha. So that's the only challenge when it comes to raw. So the next letter after raw is zayn, and I've already treated it here. After zayn we have sin. I treated sin here. After sin we have shin. Shin has no competitor, so I won't be taking that. After shin we have sword, which I have treated here already. After sword we have board, and I already treated that here. After board we have paw. Yeah, did I say ta has no competitor? Of course it does. I might have forgotten. I forgot what now, I remember. So ta does have a competitor, and this is it. So I should be treating the two. Ta, paw, ta. This needs air, your mouth filled with air, but this is just as simple as the letter T. So that's the difference. So paw, to Okay, I'm not going to go back to the pronunciation, but just put your tongue in between your teeth and paw. Feel your, not your teeth rather, your tongue in between your lips, curved, and fill your mouth with air. Paw, paw, paw. To pronounce this, you must feel your cheek vibrating. Yeah. So if it takes fatha, paw, this takes fatha, ta, just like as in the case of T, letter T. This takes a kasra, p, p, p. This takes a kasra, T. This takes a dhamma, pu. This takes a dhamma, pu. Sorry, two. Okay, so that's it. Done with this two, and after to, we have vo. Wow, okay, I have to go back again. I have to go back here. Vo belongs to this group. Yeah, vo. It belongs to the group of dal, zayn, and vo. So this is dal, dha fatha, dal fatha, dha, zayn fatha, za, vo fatha, vo. While placing your tongue in between your teeth with your mouth filled with air, you pronounce this. But this does not require filling the mouth with air. So if this takes kasra, v, this takes kasra, z, this takes kasra, v, v, with the mouth filled with air and your tongue in between your teeth. Alright, so if this takes dhamma, vu, this takes dhamma, zu, with the bustling sound, and this takes dhamma, vu, vu, with the mouth filled with air. So after vol, the next letter is ein, which I already treated here in line with Alif and Hamza. I already differentiated the sound. After ein, we have goin. Goin is a competitor of itself. So how is it a competitor of itself? Ro. Many people pronounce goin as G, letter G, which isn't. I don't know how to explain this, but it's kind of like you're feeling weak to pronounce the letter G. Ro. Like you're feeling disgusted, rather. It isn't disgusting, so let me not use disgusting, but just ro. Yeah. How do I explain this? It's not, if it's carrying fatha, we don't call it ga, but rather ro. The sound is coming from your middle throat, ro, almost raising the tip of your tongue almost to the roof of your mouth. Sorry, yes, to the roof of your mouth. Then you let out ro. So that's how it functions. Roin kasra ri and roin doma ru. So not if it carries fatha. Some call it ga, gi, gu, which is wrong. This is ro, ri, ru. So that's going. I hope it's clear and no question. So let's move further. After going, we have going far, and far has no competitor, so there's no need. After far, we have cough. I treated that here. We have calf. After that, I already treated it. And we have lamb. Lamb is not a competition at all. It's not a problem. Everyone can call the letter L. After lamb, we have mim, which is not also a problem because everyone can call the letter M. And after that, we have noon. not a problem. We have wa, which is not a problem, and we have ha, which I treated here. Then we have letter ya. Of course, it's not a problem. So I guess that brings us to the end of this video. So these are the letters looking alike in terms of pronunciation in huruful hijai, and I've already brought them out and treated them, the confusing parts of each, and I've differentiated them. So I guess that's okay.